Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Uh, Let me see who was here first. Lydia Washington, thank you so much for being here first. Let me see. Um, let me just bring the slides up. How about if I do that? Uh, Baby, take my hand. Enjoy the Jet 2 holiday. Only £50 per person. That is just really stuck in my head now. Okay. Slides are coming up. Helen is here, and Heather Stroud, and Fancy, Wise Word CK, Sonia Johnson. Okay. Shirley Holland. Cheers, cheers. Joan Garcia. Yvette Black, thank you for being here. Mama Jane, cheers, thank you for being here. All right. Oh, there we go. There's the slides. Okay, so there we go. 6 homes and counting. You know, the strangest thing, I didn't know Adelaide Cottage was pink. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just did not know it was pink. But yeah, it's pink. Very pink, as you can see there. Very pink. And that rather bizarre house there, that is well, I tell you, the roof looks like it needs some repairs. But I do believe that the house is going through some renovation right now. I think they're doing some work on it. I think so. Anyway, it looks very odd. It looks very odd. It looks like it's kind of partly this and partly that. It is not the most handsome looking house I've ever seen. It seems like something is odd about that front entrance with those faux columns or something. You see what I mean? It looks very strange. The windows along the first floor or the ground floor, that looks fine. Then when you go up to the first floor, or as you all say, the first floor, we say it's the second floor, that is where it starts getting weird. And then that roof there in the middle, I don't know what to make of it. Oh, you know what I just realized? On the right side, that is a flat roof. That is not a pitch roof, it's a flat roof. And then there's that weird thing in the center. I just don't get how that is made. It looks kind of hodgepodge, but oh well. Anyway, it's called Forest Lodge. I believe that's the name of it, is Forest Lodge. Kavan Slim says, I'd love to see Harry and Meghan another $10 million house in Miami to see those people over there take a dive off of the London Bridge. Oh, they would definitely have a meltdown. It would definitely lead to some kind of episode with those people. And by the way, thank you for the super chat. There we go. Thank you very much for the super chat. But yeah, I believe it would cause them to have a spell of some sort. Okay. All right. Did you guys know that it was World Honeybee Day? Our very existence depends on bees and other pollinators. On Saturday's Honeybee Day, celebrate the vital role bees play in maintaining our food supply, contributing to biodiversity, and helping achieve global goals. Well, I didn't know that there was a Honeybee Day, but apparently August 16th is officially the Honeybee Day. And that is a reminder of how important the honeybee is. So there are other pollinators, some birds and other insects, but the real hard work is done by the honeybee. Okay. And all right, so the cut. The cut says we tried Meghan's as ever rosé, while many of the products by as ever, the Meghan Sussex founded purveyor of Californian culinary staples, including the raspberry jam spread we taste test in April and the apricot spread we ordered and never got, remained perpetually sold out. We did manage to get our hands on its first ever wine. We ordered 3 bottles in of the 2023 debut vintage because it was the minimum purchase required. Like the 2024 Napa Valley Rosé, now available on As Ever site, the 2023 offering is described as having notes of stone fruit, a gentle minerality, and a lasting finish. We'll see about that. So, let's go over some of the reviews, shall we? While many of the products, okay, did that already. Some important context for our very professional wine tasting. The rosé was chilled for 2 days in the office refrigerator and mostly drunk out of paper cups in a conference room with side of popcorn, microwave popcorn. We also invited some nearby friends of the cut to join us. It was a polarizing beverage, but one thing we all agree on, we can't wait for season 2 of With Love, Meghan. Okay, so that being said, let me tell you what I did. I just eliminated the negative ones. There was only maybe 3. And I stuck with the ones that were either very neutral or positive. Okay. So, yeah, I think I only avoided 3 of them. Okay. And these are the reactions. Honestly, it goes down smooth. If it's ice cold, it's not too sweet. I could drink it on a breezy day in the park or at a work function. So, and you can see the name of the person there, Brooke Marine, Deputy Culture Editor, The Cut. Next, it tastes like rosé is supposed to taste. I have a delightful little headache now. Jen Ortiz, Deputy Editor, The Cut. Next, it says, smells great. I really wish she had just capitalized that E. Now, I don't know. Oh, you know what? I know what they're talking about. I had to hear that a couple of times to understand what they were saying. You know what they're saying, right? The as ever, the capital E for ever. It finally hit me what they're talking about. Okay, as you can see, little nitpicking, but I'll accept that, Amy Rose Spiegel, senior editor, The Cut. I would drink it if it was out, but I don't think I'd order it. Out of the rosés I've had in my life, it was one of the better ones, but I do not love a pink wine. Brooke, what is that? La Mancha? La Monte? Yeah, I think it's La Mancha, right? Editorial assistant to Cut. Next, I would drink it if it, oh no, this is the same one. The first sip was crisp and I enjoyed it. I did also catapult my brain back to drinking Franzia White Zinfandel during summer of yore. For some reason, it tastes like it's at a wedding or a work event. And that's Catherine Thompson, features editor, The Cut. And there's 3 left. let's start with this one. I like that it wasn't too sweet and was more on a drier side. Light, fruity, very drinkable, but I wouldn't pay more than $20 for it. Dominique Parizo, writer, strategist, something, something. And let's see, two more to go. I would drink it while watching How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. It tastes like a house rosé. Bettina Ching, editorial producer, Cinematrix. And lastly, upon first sip, immediately my body relaxed. But it's too sweet. I was like, too sweet. Anyway, Zoe Populus, network developer, New York. Now, I didn't think it was too sweet, and I prefer sweet wine. I did not think it was too sweet. If you ask me, it wasn't sweet enough. So maybe that's why. But I don't think you can have sweet and dry in the same bottle. What do you all think? I don't think you can have too sweet and dry in the same bottle. And it's definitely on the drier side. So I don't know. Recollections may vary. Everybody has their own idea of what taste is good and what is okay and what is not so okay. But I rather enjoyed it, and I did not think it was too sweet. I thought it was just the perfect balance for a rosé. Let's see. Anna Boyd, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you for watching Royal Sussex. So yeah, there was like three other comments that I just didn't like feel like being bothered with. But if you want to see those other comments, simply go to the cut and the article. You will see our Duchess standing there next to the bottle. You see there, as ever. I just wish she would have capitalized the E. Oh, give me a break. Now, see, people like that give me gas. Yeah, it's not sweet. It's dry like a Chardonnay. And I used to drink Chardonnay, but then once I got into things like a Pinot Grigio or a white Zinfandel, I was just like, yeah, you know. And then at some point, I just totally went for the red wines, Merlot, Pinot Noir, that kind of stuff. Okay, so there you go. Cheers, Meghan. Once again, a somewhat positive, mostly positive review of the As Ever. Okay, and Chris Jenner thanks Meghan for gifting her a As Ever rosé after the Duchess showered Khloe Kardashian with treats. Well, if you recall, you know what? I kind of feel like I shared this before. Have I or have I not? And whose refrigerator is that? I'm looking at the refrigerator in the background. All I see is green. Oh my goodness, they are some healthy people. I only see green vegetables, some kind of green drinks and bottled waters. And yeah, okay, that's certainly in my refrigerator with all the processed foods you could ever want. Let me see. Tangerine Squeeze says, sweet and rosé don't go together. That white Zinfandel comment was a little catty too, but I'm getting ready to pour myself a glass. Good for you. And do enjoy. Okay. Yeah, the cut is always a bit shady. They are a mite shady. Hello, Janice Goodrich. Thank you so much for being here. Maybe that's why they call it the cut, because they're shady. Let's see. What's that? I drank that wine. A bottle a day. Good thing I could afford a case. I slept well. No. Yeah, I wasn't sure about the headache comment. I'm just like, huh? What? Oh, well. Next. Miss Tracy Robbins. Take a look there on the left side. Miss Tracy Robbins. You might remember her and her husband. They went to on that trip to Jamaica, right? And her husband, what is his name? Something Robbins, the CEO or chairman, something like that. Anyway, he runs one of those studios. I forget. Mark Robbins? No. Tim Robbins? No, that's the actor. Robin Robbins? No, that's the news lady. Batman and Robin? No. Brian Robbins. That's it. Thank you. Brian Robbins. That guy. Okay, thank you very much. Yes, she got a box gift. I love that box. Okay, as ever official, you can see someone posted, yes, we're putting flower sprinkles in the rosé. Yes, we are putting flower sprinkles in the rosé. You know what? I have not opened my flower sprinkles yet. I have a can of it. Now, I used the ones that came with the shortbread cookies, but I have yet to open up a can and actually use it. That'll be my next project. Okay. And then the one on the left, I wish I could have shared it with you. That is actually a video, and it has those little sparkles to it where, it's like the little, I can't even explain it, but everything shiny seems like it had a little sparkle, you know, going off. But anyway, nice photo. And there on the right, Tiny Joy Storm. No, is that Tiny Joy for me? There's anyway, every day Meghan is posting images of the as ever. So I do remind you guys, if you want your bottle shared on the Instagram, do make sure you tag um, the as ever official, and maybe Meghan will share it on her Instagram. Yeah. So let me see. Okay. What do they call that? Hold on a second. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Now, I don't like her. I don't know her, but I don't like her. Her name is Judith Woods, and I believe she writes for the Telegraph or something like that. Yeah, she writes for the Telegraph. Judith Woods, in my early 40s, I realized I had to future proof myself by getting a personal trainer. In my early 40s, girl, if I was you, I wouldn't tell nobody. Don't you go tell nobody you're in your early 40s, looking like you in your early 60s. Don't be telling people you in your early 40s. Come on now, girl. We know better than that. But if you say so, if that's what you see when you look in the mirror, fine. Fine. Now, why am I being so particular? Well, this is why. Judith Woods says the proof that Kate's the perfect British princess that Meghan could never be. Yeah, the perfect British princess that Meghan could never be. We'll see about that. Um, I guess they may feel that Kate needs some type of moral support or some type of I don't know, a little uplift or something. It must be a reason that they inserted Meghan's name in this article other than just for clicks and such. But this is the thing. Meghan is in Montecito minding her business, going about her day. And this article, she makes the case using a bunch of trigger. And by the way, do not read the article. It's not going to do anything but make you frustrated and make you angry. A lot of triggering words used. Let me see. I think she referred to Harry as dopey and that kind of thing. She wants to make this case that Kate is the proper royal princess. The only thing that she doesn't bring up is the fact that Kate doesn't work. That part she's not mentioning. And she even was trying to throw support behind the nature videos as though that's a good idea. Like, thank God Kate is reminding us what it means to be in nature and to enjoy nature and to get out and have some time in nature, as if everybody's got time to do that, as if everybody has a staff of over 60 people, as if everybody has, what are they up to, 6 homes now? Now is the weirdest time I could imagine to try to send Kate a rescue line or something like that. When they, what is that I'm looking at? Gifted 10 Royal Sussex memberships. Now, let me see. Is it ALIB 6060? Do you use some other name? Because now that we got these weird numbers and letters, but anyway, thank you for having a membership and thank you for gifting 10 Royal Sussex memberships. That is incredible. Thank you for that. So that is 10 very blessed, very lucky recipients that will get a Royal Sussex membership. Now, I don't know how those are, collected by the individuals, but all I can say is thank you, and thank you. That was so thoughtful of you. I really do appreciate it. And there are some people who are unable to acquire their own memberships. So this is going to be very, very helpful to some very lucky recipients. So thank you so much for that. Okay. Now, right here, it says the best moments are made to be shared. With love, Meghan returns on August 26th. And then, of course, a day later, what happens? Mother Nature, summer. Our lives flourish. That's Kate. Wait, let me do it in my Kate voice. I like a flourish, and when I'm wondering if that's Gaelic. Is that Gaelic or is that like some ancient dialect that hasn't been heard for 1,000 years? Huh? Did she get struck by lightning and all of a sudden she was speaking the language that modern anthropologists cannot recognize, or you know what I mean? Is that how the ancient Egyptians spoke? I wonder. Anyway, anyway, whatever language it is, whether it's Gaelic or if it's some Southeast Asian dialect or whatever, what she was trying to say is our lives flourish when we cherish the bonds of love and friendship. Word salad. It has never been more important to appreciate the value of one another and of Mother Nature. Here's to summer. C, which stands for Catherine. Um, but yeah, that, and then of course, let us not ignore the fact that she used the bumblebee as a veiled reference to Meghan and even little Lilybet collecting honey from their, their beehives. So, yeah, there you go. Copycat strikes again. The thing is, we all know that it is actually Meghan who is making Kate a better royal princess. The only thing that Meghan cannot do is give Kate a work ethic. That does not exist. I don't care how far you go back. Even before Kate married into the family, there was concerns about her lack of work, a concern about her poor work ethic. Queen Elizabeth saw that a mile away. Now, they're always talking about what the Queen knew about Meghan. What the Queen knew about Meghan was enough to welcome Meghan into the family. What the Queen knew about Kate was enough to say, tell that girl I said to go get a job before she marries into this family. So they hastily arranged some kind of position at Jigsaw, which I tell you, if Kate ever showed up at one of the job related meetings or any other kind of thing related to work, I doubt if most people there would recognize her from working with her. They'd probably recognize her from the television or from the newspapers, but they wouldn't know her as a coworker because she was rarely ever there, if ever. So, as I was saying, it's not Meghan that is lacking when it comes to being a royal princess. It's Kate with her very poor, almost non-existent work ethic. She will not work. She has never worked. She does the absolute least amount of just showing up. In what, 13, 14 years married into this family, Kate has taken one foreign trip abroad. And she didn't go far. She just went to Denmark. And they're still trying to figure out, what was she here for? Why was she here? What did she want? Who invited her? They don't even know why she was there. That's the only foreign trip that she's taken solo, was to Denmark. Other than that, she's gone on those colonizer tours with her husband, but that's it. She can never independently go somewhere because she's just not capable. Where did Meghan go? Was it Rwanda? India? Where else did she go? Meghan's all over the place, taking solo trips, like most young women will, especially professional young women. But Kate, not so much. You would think with her incredible art degree that she might have been attracted to visiting, I don't know, Italy. Not solo. Not solo. She won't do it. charities, patronages where they have not seen her in years. She was even called out because they hadn't seen her. Well, your Highness, what was that he said? Um, she said something about needing to come by more often. And what did the guy say? It's been 8 years, 7 years since you were here last. How embarrassing. I think it's very dangerous for them to make these comparisons. The latest foray into film provides further proof she would never have fitted at the firm. As a matter of fact, you guys, I'm skipping most of the article and I'm just sharing the very last part of it, where team playing is the order of the day. Team playing and not saying nonsensical things like there are easy ways to show up lovingly while wasting fancy packaging on jammy biscuits so remedial that even a 7-year-old would roll their eyes. Really? Really? Kate, with her early years, that was allegedly plagiarized from a child, almost word for word. Everything that was in Kate's early years, the 5 things you should know. Wow, that sounded identical to that girl that was on the TED Talk. Speaking of TED Talk, I wonder if we'll ever find Kate Middleton. Will we ever find her on the TED Talk? Huh? Will Kate ever stand in front of a room full of people? And you know, with the TED Talk, you're not allowed to have any notes. Do you think that Kate the Magnificent, Catherine the Great, do you ever think that she would stand in front of a room full of people without any notes or any help, not even some little transmitter in her ear? Do you ever think that she would stand in front of a room full of people and start waxing poetically about things she knows about the early years? That would be a disaster. And you know what? If it was a pay-per-view, I'd pay for it. I'd pay good money to see it. Yeah, I'd pay good money to see it. To be able to witness something as tragic as this?
Well, obviously it'd be, I would love to have met her. And she's obviously, she's an inspirational woman to look up to. Obviously to this day and, you know, going forward and things. You know, it is, you know, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot and, you know, very inspirational. So, yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You do, and then you don't. Like I said, I'd pay good money for that. That will probably be the one of the best things that has ever happened in any type of live performance, presentation, you name it. Her late great Majesty Queen Elizabeth II once staggeringly stagely observed, we have to be seen to be believed. An adage that has seen many a working royal through tedious civic engagements or grueling overseas tours. Now, that being said, Harry and Meghan, without the help of any of the courtiers, without the assistance of the Home Office, without any input from the British government or the American government, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex had 2 incredibly successful tours, whether you want to call them royal or just a tour, whatever you want to call it. They had 2 incredibly successful tours in Nigeria and in Colombia without the aid or assistance of any of the above mentioned. And there were 0 gaffes, not a single one. Everything went as planned. They were embraced, they were loved, they were cherished, they were gifted, they received the utmost respect top-notch security, no question of it. And that they did without any of the above mentioned. And even with the Home Office, the Foreign Secretary, the Secretary of State, the Prime Minister, the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker, Lottie Dottie, and everybody, Will and Kate had the worst embarrassment. The worst embarrassment. Where was all that poise and elegance for the royal princess when they went to Jamaica, when they went on their Caribbean tour? Huh? Where was all that poise and elegance? Did that stop the Prime Minister of Jamaica from embarrassing them? What did he say? We're moving on. We're moving on. He said it to their face. And what was their retort? Nothing. They just stood there looking stupid. And then upon return to the UK, William says, well, this is the end of never complain, never explain, never explain, never complain. This is the end of that. It doesn't matter. The damage is already done. Whether you explain or you don't explain, you've already proven yourself to be a ridiculous colonizing cosplay prince and princess. So it does not matter. Let me see. Did Kate get a bad facelift, or is she just not aging well? She looks pretty haggard for her age. Thank you, Kavan Slims. Yes, she looks pretty haggard for her age. And in my opinion, I think the stress and the pressure of trying to be someone that you're not, trying to compete with someone who is a high achiever by most people's matrix, that is a lot of work for someone who barely has an art history degree. The person who has an art history degree that went inside of a museum in her own country and was puzzled when she looked at a Fabergé egg, as though she had never heard of Fabergé before, or she'd never seen a Fabergé egg. That was puzzling. And what kind of art degree do you have? Anyways, thank you again for the super chat. So it says here, as a working royal, this embodies Kate's role. This embodies Kate's role, subject of course to health considerations, subject of course to health considerations. She is, after all, our future queen. Meghan has never enjoyed playing second fiddle, but if she wants to rehabilitate herself, she would do well to take her cue from she would do well to take her cue from
to this day, and going forward and things. It is, it's a wonderful family.
Yeah, that's who she's supposed to take her cue from. Meghan would do well to take her cue from.
Met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman, and she's an inspirational woman to look up to. Obviously to this day, and going forward and things. It is, it's a wonderful family. It is, it's a wonderful family. The members who it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So yeah, I do.
Yes, Meghan should take her cue from Kate Middleton, I guess. That's the only way she's ever going to recover. Yeah. Anyway, Meghan has never enjoyed playing second fiddle, but if she wants to rehabilitate herself, she would do well to take her cue from the Princess of Wales, who unerringly show that respect is earned not through TV specials and what is that? Tritonus? What is that? Treatinus? Anyway, but act of service and thoughtful contributions to national life. If you mean having that Christmas carol, if Meghan wants to rehabilitate herself, Meghan must participate in that farce of a Christmas carol where she sit down and pretend to play the piano, um, while somebody else is, sitting off camera doing the real work, playing the piano so bad that you couldn't do it in front of a room full of people. You had to come back another day in the same outfit and record it so that they can edit and do all that they need to do and hopefully string together something cohesive enough to call it, I guess, a concert. The only thing is there's no audience, just the camera crew. Or let me see, what's the other one? I guess have other people plan a Christmas special. And of course, everyone will speak at Christmas except for the person who is the patron of the evening. Do you guys know that Kate has never spoken a single word at any of those Christmas events? She has not, and she will not. She's not going to share or read or demonstrate anything except for that silly piano playing. The night when she was cosplaying the Phantom of the Opera, which of course I referred to her as the Phantom of Westminster Abbey. That was it. You would think that she would read the 12 Days of Christmas or something, but no, she didn't do it. Because the Immaculate Heart of Kate, Catherine the Great, pretty much only sits there like everybody else and passively watches the night go by. She hasn't planned anything. She doesn't do anything. It is simply an event that is thrown in her name for the benefit of pretending as though she's doing work. Do you know what it must be like to get credit for putting together a Christmas special to the likes of which you haven't suggested a song because you don't know any? You're not going to read anything because you're terrified, right? You're not even going to play the piano. You'll come back and do that later so that they can edit that into the event. So I don't know what the point of it is, except it's something to have in her name. Just like being the patron of the BAFTAs or being the patron of the tennis or football or what's the other one? Rugby. It's just something in your name. Baron, I love quotations that make one ponder life. This quote applies to Kate. Should follow it. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Yes, I like that. Be yourself because everyone else is taken. Be yourself because everyone else is taken. I love that. Thank you for the super chat. All right. Okay. And also, let me remind everyone, it wasn't Kate that had Meghan down on all fours in front of a line of cameras and well-wishers and hospital staff. It wasn't Meghan who was down on all fours. It was Meghan who had Kate down on all fours because of the pressure that has been applied to Kate because of the lack of work. You see, watching Meghan in her garden being so relatable and approachable put a lot of pressure on Kensington Palace to get Kate out there. So what did they do? They had Kate dress up like Meghan. They had Kate go into a garden and plant a flower. I believe it was named for Kate Middleton. If it wasn't for Meghan, we know that wouldn't have happened. But it is the pressure. It is the pressure of Meghan being seen and being believed that caused Kate. And you know what, guys? You will remember I said I felt really sorry for her. I felt really bad for Kate because I think that this is demeaning. It'd be different if she wanted to do this herself, but she had no choice. She was told to go and play in the dirt. This is not what she wanted to do. This is what she had to do. There's a difference. And I actually felt bad for her. This is the outfit. They had her dress up as Meghan and go and play in the dirt. And if that's what makes her a royal princess, that somebody orders you to get down on your knees and rake your hands through the soil, if that's what it takes, because you know darn well she would not have done this on her own. She was told. She didn't ask, she was told. And there she is, crawling for the sake of the throne. Humiliating, embarrassing, and she had no choice. Where's William? How come William's not out there? I remember seeing Meghan and Harry planting flowers with some children. You've never seen William do something like that. Oh, I take it back. That time when he went to the Middle East with one of those people that gives out the, bags of money. I'm not saying that he got any, but I'm just saying one of those kind of people that give out bags of money. He went there during the global pandemic to plant a tree. Her hands are the tools. Have you seen her hands? I mean, look at her hands. Tell me those don't look like weapons. I mean, tools. She's out there in the Princess Diana sapphire and diamond ring, down on all fours, raking her hands through the soil. So I would ask this, what is her name? Judith Woods. I would ask Judith Woods, who is the better princess? The person who does these things because she wants to, or the person who gets down on all fours because she has to? And the only reason why she has to do that is because you can forget about her reading a speech. You can forget about her leading a group. This is the best that she can do. If she's not doing this, she's sitting at a table, at a little classroom table with children. That is the only other thing that she's good at. But remember, she is the best example of a royal princess that Britain has ever seen. She is the greatest consort there ever has been and ever will be. Bar none. Meghan's over in her kitchen, sipping tea, looking as chic and elegant as ever. And there's Kitty down on all fours, raking through the soil, wearing a sapphire and diamond ring. I wonder if she knew that this was happening when she got there. Do you think she knew that this was going to happen? Or was this just something that they told her last minute? I was really hurt for her, though. When I saw this, I felt humiliated for her. But considering that she is still doing the cosplay, considering that she is the mean girl that she's always been, I don't really care. I really don't care anymore. He tried to copy Harry. It just made him look like a bigger idiot. Yeah. You know, I believe that the reason why they do this is because it's kind of like a stalker like energy to demonstrate that we can do whatever you can do, that we can blur a identity between the two households, something to that effect. But in terms of just having self-respect, it's actually pretty pathetic. And they don't even care enough how bad this makes them look. So, speaking of how it makes you look, if Meghan can only be a royal princess because of the stress and the horrible mistreatment that comes out of that institution, stress that causes illness, that causes you to look prematurely older than you actually are, if that is what Meghan traded to get the hell out of there, I say it was a good call. I say it was a good call. I don't ever want to have to see Meghan stepping out of a state Bentley looking so disheveled, haggard. This is the institution. This is what the institution does for you. This is what comes with the role. Some days you find yourself down on all fours, whether or not you want to, and other days you are just so stressed and you're so hurt and you're so bothered and so mistreated. You got Camilla, the wicked witch of the devil, telling you that you cannot wear blue. You are unable to wear a tiara for, what was it, 2 years, just because they say so. If that's what Meghan traded for freedom, I say good. I say good. Oh, what is this? This is another one of those commanding images of Kate as she exit whatever event this was, full of confidence, pride, self-awareness, all of those things. Unstoppable she is. Yeah. Yeah. But listen, you guys, no matter how disturbing these images are, don't forget, you know what the derangers say? Kate's going to be queen. William's going to be king. Kate's going to be queen. William's going to be king, right? It don't matter what shape you in when you get there, so long as you get it. uh, and notice here, she's not even wearing the sapphire. She's not even wearing it. You know, when I saw the article, I said, you know, this does not, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, let me go back here. Let me show you something. This is supposed to be really putting Meghan in her place, right? But look at Kate raking through the soil. Is she smiling? They couldn't even find an image of Kate smiling while she's look at the people back there looking at her. That is humiliating. How come nobody's helping her? This is why I felt sorry for her, because I'm looking at this wife, this mother. Whether or not I like her as a person, that has nothing to do with it. No woman should have been in that position. No. If this is what Meghan gave up, good. Good. You have all these people gawking at the future queen. Do you think Queen Elizabeth would have been down on all fours raking through the soil? Do you think Camilla would have been down on all fours raking through the soil? Do you think Diana would have been down on all fours raking through the soil? No. But Kate is out there on all fours, raking through the soil, planting a flower. And the photo that they use for the article, she's not even smiling. Proof that Kate's the perfect princess, a British princess, that Meghan could never be. Okay, I accept that. Good. I don't ever want to see her in that position. I mean, they have almost emptied the entire building so that everybody can come outside and see the future queen consort down on all fours, raking through the soil with her bare hands. Next time you want to come for Meghan, try to find something different. Don't use this. This isn't a good way to start. I don't know how this is helpful. It's embarrassing. It is humiliating. Diana, Camilla, Elizabeth II, the Queen Mother. I'm trying to picture any of them. Princess Margaret. I'm trying to picture any of them. Beatrice and Eugenie. If this is what it looks like to be a winner, I'm glad she's not losing. Right? I'm glad she's not losing. But hang in there, Kate. You're going to be queen. You are going to be queen if you make it. If William says so, you are going to be queen. Okay, speaking of William, Kate and William's forever home. I think somebody is trying to be funny. Somebody is going there. This is the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail, who has given them all the cover in the world, has just gone for the jugular. Yeah, this is the Daily Fail that wrote this article today. No, this was Sunday. So yeah, today. 2 families have been asked to leave their homes so Prince and Princess of Wales can live in an 8-bedroom mansion. The Mail on Sunday can reveal William and Kate and their 3 children are set to move into a 300-year-old forest lodge later this year. Nestled in a beautiful corner of Windsor Great Park, the Grade 2 listed property has been described as their forever home. Yeah, their forever home. Has been described as their forever home, where William will remain even after he becomes king. I repeat, where William will remain, stick a pin in that. William will remain there even after he becomes king. I know you all are there. I can hear you breathing. Are you all holding your breath? I feel like you all are holding your breath like you want to say something. The Mail on Sunday has learned that early this summer, two separate families who live in cottages next to the country mansion were asked to vacate their properties. There were two families living nearby that were asked to vacate their properties. The cottages converted from Forest Lodge stables are understood to have been rented out by the Crown Estate, and the tenants are said to have been surprised at being asked to leave. It is understood that no eviction notice were served, and the tenants have moved to similar or better housing elsewhere in the 4,800 acre Great Park. One well-connected source said they were told to move out. They were told to move out. That sounds like an eviction to me. I guess they were given somewhere else, but they were told they had to move. Now, this is the Daily Mail ratting them out. The Daily Mail says one well-connected source said they were told to move. I guess they were given somewhere else, but they were told they had to move. That is a quote. They were told they had to move. Now, eviction notice or not, I would imagine that if the Crown Estate says you got to go, Harry, Meghan, I guess you have to go and leave Frogmore behind. They were not expecting it. The houses are very close to the lodge, so they're not going to want any Tom, Dick, or Harry living in those houses if there are going to be royals there. They don't want any Tom, Dick, and Harry living in those houses if there's going to be royals there, meaning, of course, the Forest Lodge. They were told they had to move. Okay? With its chandeliers, lit ballroom, tennis court, Venetian windows, and extensive grounds, Forest Lodge is a considerable upgrade from the cozy four-bedroom Adelaide Cottage where the prince and princess and their young family have lived for the last 3 years. They stay at the property around 4 miles from their new home, coincided with a challenging period for the royal family. Queen Elizabeth died at Balmoral weeks after they moved in. In 2024, both King Charles and Kate announced they had been diagnosed with cancer, which, remember, it wasn't cancer until it was. Royal insiders say William and Kate are hoping for a fresh start at Forest Lodge after an opportunity to leave some of their more unhappy memories behind them. By the way, you guys, please make sure you hit the like button. I repeat, please make sure you hit the like button. It goes a long way to drive the algorithm to help other people find Royal Sussex. So please hit the like button. Forest Lodge was the last week a hive of activity with new shrubs being planted in its grounds and builders in white vans visiting. A metal fence with black mesh privacy screens has been erected around the front of the house. The Mail on Sunday revealed in July that the prince and princess were considering upsizing to a much grander residence. Our scoop, however, was met with a degree of obfuscation by the palace. Aides initially attempted to steer this newspaper away from the story before clarifying that a move from Adelaide Cottage was not imminent. It is understood that the publication reveal the publication rival reporters were dismissively told that it was a so-called silly season story. In fact, plans for a move were by then well advanced. It is understood that one of the options considered by the couple was Fort Belvedere, a magnificent Gothic revival mansion in Windsor Great Park, with which was a favorite home of Edward VIII. The Grade 2 listed property has been leased to a family of the late Canadian retail billionaire Galen Weston since the early 1980s. Mail on Sunday understood the family decided to renew their contract on the property earlier this year, which meant it was no longer available for the prince and princess. Forest Lodge was last renovated in 2001 and is a few miles from Lambrook School, which is attended by the three children. It is understood William and Kate are paying for the move and rent at no extra cost to the taxpayers, except the fact that their money comes from, guess what? The taxpayers. I repeat, their money comes from the taxpayers. They are going to pay the Crown Estate for the property, only for the Crown Estate to give them the money back annually. Got that? They're going to give the money to the Crown Estate, and then it's going to go through a series of other hands, and then it's going to go right back to them so that they can keep paying the Crown Estate for the property that caused the eviction of two other families. I think I understand that. Remember, two other families were evicted for this whim of the future king. Well, the work included a new roof, electrics, and a second kitchen, in addition to the existing 350 square foot kitchen. The royal spokesman said at the time, "This is the Duke and Duchess's only official residence. It is here that they plan to stay for many, many years to come," which is, of course, the same thing that they said about apartment 1A at Kensington Palace, the same thing that they said about Anmer Hall over on the Sandringham estate, which also caused an eviction. And I believe they were supposed to at least stay at Adelaide Cottage for more than just, 2 years? But now they have decided that they're going to move to a whole nother property, which is being prepared so that they can move in by Christmas. If they're working on it now, that means they plan to be there for Christmas. The couple, however, moved to Adelaide Cottage in August of 2022, along with George, Charlotte, and Louis. The couple were said to have acutely conscious of the public money that had been spent and wanted to ensure it will still a hub of activity, Indeed, aides this week insisted that Kensington Palace will remain their official London residence and their office staff will remain there. It is understood that the Welleses will also keep Anmer Hall, a 10-bedroom property in Norfolk, gifted as a wedding present by Queen Elizabeth. The choice of Forest Lodge as their long-term family home raises questions about the future of Buckingham Palace after William becomes king. William is never moving into Buckingham Palace. Charles is the last. Actually, Charles is never moving into it. Buckingham Palace is going to become a museum. Just like Kensington Palace, it is going to become a museum. They might have an apartment there for whatever occasion, but nobody is going to live at Buckingham Palace. The 775-room palace, which has been home to monarchs since 1837, is undergoing a 10-year, 369 million pound renovation. It appears unlikely, however, that William will ever live there, raising the possibility of it being open to the public and used for only major royal functions, like I just said. It means William will become the first monarch not to live in a palace or castle when he succeeds Charles as king. Anyway, I guess that's enough of that. Uh-huh. Yeah, so that's it. They're gonna gangster that house. They're kicking out some people, and so success. They got another place. Why do they need two kitchens? What is that? Steph's and theirs. What is that? Steph and theirs. Oh, the staff, right? The staff kitchen and theirs, right? Anyway, thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, because the money is just coming from the taxpayers anyway. So the money's just going to go in a circle. It's not going to cost them anything. It's not going to cost them a dime. Yeah, the has been met with skepticism. How can this be their forever home? Asked one source. It is not grand enough for a king. In 2013, Age suggested Kensington Palace would be William and Kate's forever home after they moved to the 20-room apartment 1A, refurbished at the cost of £4.5 million to the taxpayer. The work included a new roof, electrics, and a second kitchen. Here we go with a second kitchen again. In addition to the existing 350 square foot kitchen. Oh, you know what? I think that did come from that article, didn't it? Oh, yeah, that is from the same article. Sorry about that. Well, there you go. They have acquired another property. Two families were evicted so that they could enjoy this home. I guess those families were too close. Yeah, Forest Lodge becomes William and Kate's sixth forever home after millions spent on previous residents. I think we kind of went over this already. So let me see. Headlines call the house a forever home and a fresh start. Pieces highlight that the couple will fund works themselves and pay rent, repeating the line that this is at no cost to the taxpayers. Articles stress that the family seeks normal life with children at the center of the choice. History lessons about the lodge's 300 plus years add tradition and legitimacy. Reports recast Adelaide Cottage as a place of hard memories, inviting sympathy and diverting attention from the past spending on other homes across tabloids and lifestyle sites, the framing the sale, responsibility, modesty, and performance, etc., etc. Let me see. I guess those two families don't have a home now. Well, they said that they were sending them someplace else on the estate, but they do have to go. But they said that in all likelihood that they were moving to other properties on the in the Great Windsor Park, because all of these estates have multiple homes. I didn't know Sandringham had other properties, but Anmer Hall is part of the Sandringham estate. And lots of these properties are rented out to the public. So you can, rent those Crown Estate properties. And, because years ago, those places were like grace and favor homes, but now they don't have as many staff that live, on the royal properties. So they're available. If people want them, they're available. But the thing is, when they say you have to go, you have to go. That's the only drawback. When they say you have to go, you have to go. Maybe I'll share that article tomorrow. Okay. What is this one right here? Yeah, maybe we'll do Feminagra tomorrow. I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. Let me see here. So what then do you make of Will and Kate spending $6.5 million on Kensington? One of 4 properties they own. Will is now a near billionaire. Shouldn't he reimburse? You know what? That is a good question. Should William reimburse the money that the public has spent on all these renovations? That is a very good question. Kate and William, fresh start. Prince and Princess of Wales move family to new 8-bedroom forever home in Windsor after Kate's cancer battle. I posted that yesterday on my Twitter account. And oh my goodness, some of the comments that people made, the comments were rich. That's all I can say is they were very rich. And I enjoyed every single one of them. But yeah, people didn't take too well to it. I'll just say that. There were some very pointed comments, 17 of them. Let me see. Has like 4 forever homes. Yeah, someone says they have like 4 forever homes. Another comment says she won't even have to pack a bog roll. It will be done for her. Someone says amid cancer battle that she is free of, or was it precancerous cells in remission? How many times will cancer battle be used to justify laziness and greed? That's one of the comments. All I can say is, how much time do you have? How much time do you have? Wow. Okay. So, official Lauren Brown is here. Where are you, Lauren Brown? There you go. There you go, official Lauren Brown. Good evening to you. All the best. William and Kate, forever home that never was. Zandy Sussex shared this. Friendly reminder that William and Kate spent £5.5 million of taxpayer money renovating their 4-story, 20-room Kensington Palace apartment, claiming it was their forever home. It wasn't long before they broke that promise, and now they're claiming another forever home. So William and Kate's forever home that never was. Number 1, lied that Kensington Palace Apartment 1A, a 4-story, 20-plus room home, would be their forever home. Number 2, cost of renovation quadrupled from the original estimate as William and Kate made more demands and taxpayers paid £4.5 million through the sovereign grant. In 2019, another £1 million were paid by the taxpayers when the Cambridges demanded a new driveway. There was already a refurbished 350 square foot kitchen, but Willie and Kate insisted on a second one at the taxpayers' expense. So there you go. That is how the Cambridges, the Welleses, that is how they relocate into another forever home. It's very expensive. Leg says, Williams having a feast now. Pulled pork in every home. Pulled pork in every home. I would love to see what the staff looks like. I wonder how many of them have beards. I would love to see more of the staff. That is one of the prereqs, is you have to have a beard if you want to work for them. You either have to have a beard or you have to be a beard. Thank you for the super chat, Legs. Let me see. 6 homes and counting. The royal hypocrisy behind Prince William's homelessness drive. We'll do that one tomorrow too, perhaps. Okay. Kate Middleton and Prince William to move into a new 8-bedroom home worth £16 million. They're all over them, aren't they? William and Kate, 2011 to 2013. Nottingham Cottage, 2013. Kensington Palace, UK taxpayers paid £4 million for renovation. 2020, Admiral Hall, UK taxpayers paid £1.5 million for renovation. 2022, Adelaide Cottage, UK taxpayers paid £1.5 million for renovation. 2025, Forest Lodge, Welleses say they'll pay. Well, will pay. Okay. Let me see. The UK taxpayers have paid over £7 million in renovation costs for the Welleses. Kensington Palace, Admiral Hall, Adelaide Cottage. This is just renovation costs. This isn't helicopter rides, vacations, and everything else the UK taxpayers pay for. How are people not angry? How are people not angry? You guys, I did not expect this story to get so big, but it is huge at this point. Even the Daily Mail is coming for them. Even the Daily Mail. And check this out. This article from 2014, that was written by Rebecca English. Your bill to refurbish Kate's Palace now £4 million. New kitchen, nursery, and several bathrooms, quadruple the cost. 2014. That was written by Rebecca English. Can you believe it? Rebecca English wrote that. Unbelievable. But of course, that was pre-Meghan. There was a whole nother language before Meghan showed up. And notice the article doesn't mention William. It just mentions Kate. Henry VIII says, the very obvious fact that the owners and the editors of the entire press corps of an entire country have decided to form a protective racket around a huge institution should concern most of us. And yes, the tabloid media does function as a protection racket. If you want protection, that is protection from being embarrassed, protection from the truth, then you have to play their game. You have to do as you're instructed. You have to rat other people out. You have to throw your brother and your sister in law to the wolves. You have to disown your son and your grandchildren and your daughter in law. Those are the things you have to do in order to gain protection from the racketeers. Okay? That's what Henry VIII is talking about. They were due to be told that the bill for apartment 1A has spiraled to £4 million, including VAT, when the Queen's accountants are laid before Parliament, Queen accounts, that is, are laid before Parliament on Wednesday. But after being contacted by the Mail with the figures, Buckingham Palace was forced to reveal details of the full cost. A spokesman for the Duke and Duchess said the palace is their one and only official residence where they will live for many years to come. Now, they're speaking about Will and Kate, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. That's what they're speaking of. And of course, we know that didn't happen. The first chance they got, they went over to Admiral Hall. And after that, they just kept adding collections, adding places to their collection. They have been collecting residents like infinity stones. Once upon a time, Anna said, once upon a time, British tabloids used to scrutinize William and Kate. What did they get in return for turning a blind eye on Will and Kate and focusing on Harry and Meghan? We know. The invisible contract. By the way, 11 years ago, after a lot of bad press and spending £4 million of taxpayer money on renovating Kensington Palace, a statement was issued by the then Cambridge's KP was their one and only official residence where they will live for many, many years to come. After article was written by Rebecca English in 2014, it would be impossible to read something similar now. They'll twist and turn and use the cancer card to justify another luxury home. Security for a taxpayer-funded couple that barely work at all. Yeah, so again, that article was written by Rebecca English, and no such article about the Cambridges, the Welleses will ever be written again, least of all by her, because of the invisible contract. I mean, you see it laid bare right here in front of you. This is what the invisible contract is. And surely there are some people hate watching Royal Sussex that hear what I'm saying, see the evidence that I have laid on the screen, and they don't care. So long as Harry and Meghan are being punished for something that they didn't do, so long as the English Rose and that dim-witted prince are to be king and queen, that's all they care about. That's all they care about. And that way, their racial bias can go undetected, or at least they think it is, can go undetected for another day. All of the dog whistles and such, we'll just pretend like we don't hear it. But essentially, the Black princess has been isolated to America. They have created a situation where she wouldn't come over there if you paid her. And they're satisfied with that. They would rather have Kate Middleton down on all fours, raking her bare hands through the soil, than to ever give the Sussexes credit for having done a good job for the 18 months that they were married into that institution. So be it. So be it. Keep spending your money on two people that don't even work. This is Princess Margaret when she enjoyed apartment 1A. As you can see, blackamoors are flanking the door of her saloon. You see that? There are black statues on either side. Those are some of those blackamoor figures, just like she likes it. Blackamoors. Now, this is the last slide that I have for you. Again, this is the last thing we have for today. Rate of homelessness per 10,000 people, according to the 2023 or the latest year, sleeping on the streets in temporary accommodations. Well, in the UK, there's a small amount of people sleeping on the streets in comparison to temporary accommodations. However, if you look at the temporary housing, it is the biggest number that you see compared to all of the other European countries that are part of this scale. Belgium has the most homeless on this. No, I'm sorry, the US and Belgium have the most homeless, followed by Portugal and Germany. Germany, wow, that's interesting. And Czechia, is that Czechoslovakia? I mean, the Czech Republic, Czechia. France, now see, I'm surprised. I would think there were more homeless people in France than just that little number right there, but whatever. But yeah, so they do have the United States listed with all of these. The United States and Canada and Australia too. Well, that's interesting. I wonder what made them pick these select countries. I mean, surely there's homelessness other place. There's nobody that sleeps on the streets in Finland. I wouldn't advise it. And very few people that sleep on the streets of Norway. There's some in Sweden, but yeah. So interesting, though. Interesting. Shocking fact, the UK holds the highest rate of homelessness among high-income countries. There's been a staggering 12.3% increase in homelessness this year alone, worsening an already critical situation. So, temporary housing homelessness. So, that is housing insecurity. Is that what they call it? That means that you're sleeping on someone's couch or whatever, but you just do not have a home. You might be in a shelter, but you do not have a home address of your own. I think that number for the US is a bit low, don't you all? Well, you know what? It's per 10,000. So I guess you have to take that into account per 10,000, but still, there are a lot of homeless people in the US. A lot. I do mean a lot. I'd have to spend some time with this to try to break this down because I'm not really, I'm not sure. Anyway, you guys, thank you all very much. Remember, we're trying to keep this down to an hour, and here I am, an hour and 34 minutes, but we will pick this up again tomorrow. Look at your last comments. Official Lauren Brown says, notice that the countries with the highest number of people who sleep on the streets were also some of the biggest enslavers back in the day. Yeah, that is an interesting fact. You know, I wonder about that. I wonder, are they counting people that sleep in their cars? That's why I said I'd really have to take a deep dive into this because I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, you're welcome, Cookies and Cream. Thank you so much for being here. Well, there is homelessness and then there is housing insecurity, right? And so, how they count people that are sleeping in someone's shed? How do you count people that are sleeping on an enclosed porch or on someone's sofa or in a shelter? I mean, there's got to be a more accurate way to break this down, I would hope. Because it really does make a difference. It really makes a difference. But one thing is for certain, there's a lot of people who cannot get on the housing ladder, that it's almost impossible for them to get on the housing ladder, let alone to ever own a home. So every day, there are fewer and fewer units of housing available. There's lots of vacancies out there, but there's so much housing that is vacant that is not available to the public. Second homes, vacation homes, whatever they are. And you guys, the short-term rentals, I don't want to say the name of the company, but you know how people rent a place rather than to go stay at a hotel? I am very against that because I do not like what it does to the housing market. It decimates cities like Venice, Barcelona. I mean, there's a lot of neighborhoods across the U.S. where if you're looking for housing, there's not much available. But if you look for, temporary accommodations, you'll find that there's one after the other. And I know people want to make money from their properties. I get that, but it's really not fair to take all of the housing stock off of the market and turn them into hotels. I do not like that. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. I mean, just the weather. I couldn't imagine that they could survive long if they didn't, have a someplace. Yeah. Anyway, that's my editorial for the night. I do not like people using houses for vacations because I do not like what it does to the housing market. Also, if anybody is serious about being a politician nowadays, you notice that nobody is talking about decent, affordable housing. People are not able to get into the housing market. If somebody wants to be an effective politician, let's talk about building affordable housing. Boston is horrendous. Our housing market is off the chain. 3 bedrooms for 13,000. My 2 bedroom is 3,500, and that's with help. Don't move here lest you rich as the Wellses. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Anastasia, how are you? God, I remember how much I paid for my first apartment. My first apartment was 400, and we're talking about the 1980s, the late 1980s. My first apartment was I think it was 460. Was it 490 a month? Heat not included. And came with a parking space, underground parking. Dishwasher. Did I have a washing machine? Oh my goodness, I don't remember. I don't think so. Did I have a washing machine? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. But I do remember that I didn't even pay $500 a month. Now that was God, 40 plus years ago. Is that right? No, 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 30 plus years ago. Like what, 36 years ago? And then I moved to a studio, and that was like an even 500. Then I moved to a two-bedroom on the third floor, and that was, I believe that was 450. That was 450. Two bedrooms, one bathroom, 450. Those were the days. Oh well. Um 2K. Oh my goodness. But um everything is based on location, location, location. That is always a factor. Location, amenities, and so on. But I tell you, thank God if you have a roof over your head. And if you don't, I pray God you get one soon. But I'm just grateful to have a roof over my head. Hot and cold running water, heat, air conditioning. Those are the basic things that think they should be human rights. You ate snails, the escargot, and it made you sick? Was it the preparation or are you allergic to them? Pretty much, I can't think of anything that I'm allergic to. Well, there's a lot of substance abuse and mental illness that is connected to homelessness. And that is a whole nother thing that has to be sorted out because unlike the old days, we cannot hold people against their will, nor should we, of course. But there's a lot of substance abuse and mental illness that is associated with homelessness, and especially in most urban areas. So that is something that needs to be addressed. I don't know if I've ever had snails before. I'd like to try them though. Yeah, it almost seems like a nightmare how much people are paying for rent and oh my goodness. I mean, that is a lot of money. I mean, I've seen places $6,000 a month. Now that is for a luxury apartment, right? With all of the bells and whistles and of course there's so many things like a banquet space available, a gym, um what else? The roof deck and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you have everything. A doorman, 6,000 K a month, 10,000 a month. Who's making money like that? God, you got to be making like 250K a year to afford something like that, right? Whew. That's a lot of money to pay, and you don't even get to own it at the end of the day. Yeah, my first place, everything was electric. My first apartment, everything was electric. That was like a real shock. Having electric heat and having an electric stove. And what some people are paying for their car notes, like $1,000 a month, $1,200 a month for a vehicle. And that's not even including the insurance. Oddly, my electric bill has not changed much since my first apartment. My electric bill has not changed a whole lot. I don't know why, but it's not very different. Okay, you all, thank you so much. It has been wonderful as per usual. Um, we'll pick this up again tomorrow. Be interesting to see if there's going to be any great public outcry about the Welleses and their move, but something tells me that they are going to be able to downplay this using that card that they pull out every time somebody looks at them crazy. Um, they'll be okay. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. And as always, thank you to everyone who has a membership. Memberships at Royal Sussex start at a very low, low price of just $4.99 a month. And for that price, you can have an official Royal Sussex membership to help support this channel. That is the price of a cup of coffee once a month. $4.99, $4 US 99 US. Um, let's see. That's it. Yeah, and the only memberships are through the YouTube. I do not have the what is it? The Patreon. I got rid of that because it was causing confusion with the YouTube memberships and also the Buy Me a Coffee. I don't do any memberships with that either. I prefer you use the YouTube just to keep things as uncomplicated as possible. Okay. All right. Cheers. Love you guys. See you next time.